Thursday evening in the Big Apple. We are off and running on this edition of Aqueduct Insider here on MSG Plus. Glad to have you with us. Locked and loaded from the starting gate. It's good to have your company. Jason Blewitt, Richard Migliore alongside our clubhouse studios, Mig. And it will be good to get back into a normal swing of things. It's been just on a number of different fronts. A trying and frustrating few weeks here at Aqueduct.
Well, I think for everybody, obviously, for the horse players, the fans, the horsemen, the riders, they need continuity. You're keeping your weight down, you're struggling to make weight every day, you want to ride every day. And certainly for us to get in a rhythm with Insider.
Well, we're here. We're delighted to have your company once again as well. And keep in mind, this is an extended holiday weekend here at Aqueduct. We'll have a live racing card on Monday. It'll be Martin Luther King Jr. Day. We'll have stakes lined up, beginning with Friday's rescheduled Busanda for the 3-year-old fillies, a race won a couple years ago by Princess of Silmar. The Interborough Saturday, the Holly Hughes Sunday, and the Jazzle on Monday. And speaking of stakes, I'll tell you, man, March 21st, the big day theme, while the claimers get their day to shine in the new championship claiming series.
Well, I think it's very appropriate. I mean, these are the horses that keep the game rolling throughout the winter. It's nice for them to have an opportunity for a big payday.
Absolutely. 10 stakes in all, over $700,000 in purses. And for horses to be eligible for this big New York Claiming Championship Series on Saturday, March 21st, which is right in between pretty much Gotham and Wood Day, they have had to have run in a claiming race for the most part in 2014 and 2015. I
really like looking at the names of the races because there's some of the classics that we've had around here. A number of horses that I actually had the privilege of riding throughout the years. Mr. Sinatra, obviously, Peeping Tom a few times, More to Tell a bunch of times.
Wow.
Kind of nice that they're getting their due as well as the horses that are following in their footsteps.
No question. So that'll be Saturday, March 21st. Martin Panza, a great idea with the racing office here at the New York Racing Association. It'll be great to see those claimers having their day in the sun on the inner track. And speaking of the sun, you and Andy Serling will be out on the West Coast looking ahead to the Jockey Club Tour on Fox Sports. That in its second season. You guys will be out at Santa Anita on February 7th for the San Antonio.
Yeah, February 7th, kicking off that series. And looks like a potential rematch of the Breeders' Cup Classic, which we're watching right now. Bayern potentially could make the race. They'd have a foot issue. California Chrome's pointing for it. Shared Beliefs pointing for it. So it's a nice way to kick off that series and a nice way for us to break up the winter.
And that'll be a 2-hour telecast. Of course, I could speak for everybody here at NY-BRED. We're proud to have you guys on the Fox Sports team with the Jockey Club Tour. And we've got the House Hope replay. Liam's Map squaring off against the impressive, and here he comes in the blue cap and the big white blaze, Lee, who returned with a big effort.
And Lee last year won the Don Handicap, which was the first show on the Fox series. And we'll be covering that, although we'll be on site at Santa Anita. We'll also be covering that race. And I still think that was a tremendous run from Lee. Obviously, he got to save ground, but for a horse to show that acceleration on the dirt is special.
And Liam's Map, of course, has been on a torrid win streak for trainer Todd Pletcher. Looked pretty good in his Gulfstream Stakes debut back in December. 111 buyer in that win over Valid, and he'll really get the test against Lee February 7th in the Don. Again, a 2-hour telecast, and there will be a pick 4 linking the Don, the San Antonio, the San Marcos, and the Gulfstream Park Turf Handicap. Good stuff with that.
Yeah, it's really good stuff, and it's, one show will cover all of these races, and they're important races, and people will get to have a betting or a wagering interest in all of them.
We're to start the 2015, and looking to gear up for a big 2015 is Condo Commando. David Grenning of the Daily Racing Forum posted a story about an hour ago that a finalist, and she should be a finalist for 2-year-old filly champion for 2014. Well, she is back here in New York with Rudy Rodriguez, and she's pointing to a 3-year-old campaign.
Well, and, she ran one going a mile and an eighth. I didn't know how far she really wanted to go. Obviously, the track helped her that day, but she's a very talented filly. She had her freshening at the right time, and now an opportunity to gear up, point to a race or two at Aqueduct, and see if she's good enough to point for the Kentucky Oaks.
We hope that's the case. A very impressive resume. Grade 1 winner of the Spinaway, crushed the field, gold rail or not, in the Demoiselle during Holiday Fest. The future looks bright for Condo Commando. And the future for us, well, it's happening. It's the present. It's race number 3. John Abrial with the call. We start what will be a 5-day racing week here at Aqueduct with yesterday's cancellation. Here's a look back at race number 3, a $25,000 starter allowance.
Sir Bond on the outside is running in second. Then it's Joking. In between horses is Bug Juice. Down at the fence is Finding Candy. As they head up the backstretch, Classic Salsa dances clear here by 3 lengths now. Serban runs in second, Joking and Bug Juice, they're right together, and Finding Candy is at the back. The first quarter was run in 22 and 4/5 seconds. And it is Classic Salsa now building a 5-length lead. Classic Salsa in front. Serbond is second by a length. Joking is third. Another 3.5 to Bug Juice farther back. It's Finding Candy. The field is coming for the quarter pole. Classic Salsa with the lead as they head for home. The half was running 45 2/5 seconds. Here comes Serbond now closing in on Classic Salsa. Serbond up on the outside now to take the lead. Classic Salsa back in second. Then Joking and Bug Juice and Finding Candy. They come for the finish line, and it will be Serbond, a 3.5 length winner. Classic Salsa held second over Joking.
It's the hat trick for the 6-year-old gelding by Street Sense, who tracked the fast pace and took over from the number 2 Classic Salsa.
Yeah, Chucky Lopez, known for being a speed rider, got his horse away from the gate in good order and let Classic Salsa go on with it. And you could just see how confident Chucky was turning for home. This horse was in a perfect position to win the race and obviously in raging form.
He's been a good pickup for trader Chris Engelhart. Grabbed this guy out of the claim box at Belmont Park right after Saratoga ended in early September at Belmont Park. And a 6-year-old who's just in raging form for a couple of old veterans, as we send it back to another veteran of the announcing scene here at the New York Racing Association, John Embrial, who gets us into the opening leg of Thursday's Pick 6.
Freudex away well from the extreme outside and out for the lead, and Freudex has cleared the field and is in front by a length and a half. Shinnecock Bay runs in second, Full of Mind. Toddy Royer, they are heads apart third and fourth, with Blue Shark running in fifth, and it's a big break. About 8 lengths. Back to Mangold, who trails the field. The leader is the odds-on favorite, Freudex, in front, with Shinnecock Bay giving chase in second. The opening quarter was running 23 1/5 seconds. They approach the far turn. Freudex leads here by a little more than a length, with Shinnecock Bay in second, and then a gap of 3 to Toddy Royer in third, Full of Mind down towards the rail in fourth. Then it's Blue Shark, and way back is Mangold. The field is coming for the quarter pole. Freudex, Shinnecock Bay on the outside. Freudex holding on to the lead. Shinnecock Bay is all out in second. It's Freudex by a length. Shinnecock Bay driving on the outside. Then it's Full of Mind and Blue Shark. Now a 16th to the wire. Freudex challenged here by Shinnecock Bay. Blue Shark continues to gain. Full of Mind darts down towards the rail. It is Shinnecock Bay to win it. And a 3-way photo for finish among Blue Shark, Full of Mind, and Freudex.
Shinnecock Bay, the gray by the late 2-punch, is able to wear down the 7 Freudex, who may get 4 to 5, just had no excuse in the 4th.
No excuse. And you could see the 7 Freudex struggling, went to her left lead, trying to do everything to get there. I should say but a perfect trip under Manny Franco. Had a pretty good day.
Indeed he did. A hat trick for Manny Franco, 3 wins. We'll see more of his riding and riding ability a bit later in the card today. Tom Albatrani, a bit later in the show, of course, but Tom Albatrani, the winning trader, the 5 Shinnecock Bay. I still like those gray sons of 2-punch and daughters.
Well, and the fact that 2-punch is still siring winners. I mean, 2-punch has been around a very long time and consistently siring winners.
As we head to the first timeout, the first of a pair of timeouts on this Thursday edition of Aqueduct Insider. We've got a lot more coming your way, a fast inner track, a nice day here at the Big A, so stay tuned. Back here at the Big A, it is a Thursday edition of Aqueduct Insider. The inner track fast, and the inner track look pretty much golden brown. Tip-top shape here at Aqueduct.
It looked terrific. There was so much moisture in it. Obviously, we had issues yesterday, but Glenn Kozak and his crew had it in tip-top shape today. And we had a little change of equipment here, so I feel better about the second segment.
All right, let's do it. The earmuffs came off, if you will, the IFB. Let's get them in the gate. It is race number 8. Johnny I with the call. State Breds in this non-winners and one allowance to kick off the late double.
And the rough. Awkward start for number 1, Mr. Dooley. He trails the field. Rico Capote is out for the early lead, and Riverdance Rocks now moves up to challenge. Lulu Rocks is sitting just behind the front runners in third. Then it's a gap of almost 4 lengths to between the lines, and here comes Tommy. They're followed on the outside by Decision Point. Mr. Dooley up to 7th, thanks to my uncle, trails the field in 8th. Rico Capote ran the opening quarter mile in 22 2/5 seconds. Lulu Rocks is second. Riverdance Rocks down at the rail in third, about to be passed here by Between the Lines. Between the Lines now up to third. Riverdance Rock back and forth, then Decision Point. And here comes Tommy. Rico Capote, the one to catch as they come into the stretch. Rico Capote, here's Lulu Rocks, and on the outside, Between the Lines, three of them across as they hit the eighth pole. It's Between the Lines and Lulu Rocks. Between the Lines on the outside, now in front. Lulu Rocks is second. It will be Between the Lines to take it at odds on. Lulu Rocks was second, farther back Decision Point, and thanks to my uncle.
Big 4-5 favorite Between the Lines in a perfect spot throughout. You've got to think big. Angel Arroyo around the 3/8 pole was pretty happy with the way the race was unfolding.
Yeah, I think he had to be basically rubbing his hands together going, boy, I've worked out a good trip on a very live horse. Nice to see Joe Lestrito in the winner's circle. And Angel Arroyo has shown that he's a very, very welcome addition to the Jockey County here, and I think he has a big shot to stay on and do some good when the summer months come.
A very strong finisher.
Very
Paid
strong.
his dues last winter through the spring, I would have to say, looking at the standings, and I don't have them in front of me. Spring summer meet at Belmont through Saratoga, a little lean, but he hung in there, was getting on horses, and picked up a major client. Now, granted, he's got most of his horses down in Florida, but what does it say for Angel to pick up a guy like Jimmy Jerkins?
When Jimmy Jerkins starts riding you, it tells a lot of other trainers, hey, this kid's got something going on. Because Jimmy doesn't mess around with junk, horse-wise or people-wise. And the confidence he's showing in Angel's got to be good for his level of confidence and for other trainers, too. And it's interesting, when a guy's here in the summer, obviously it gets tougher. We get all the other riders come back. But if he can hang around and do some good and then maybe ship out of town, ride a stake here or there, that's how you get in other barns. That's how you get a foothold.
All right, let's move on. Pick six, the world's fastest pick six. We'll give it a buyer of 112 or so. A lofty number as we get it back to Johnny I for the calls of 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, and 9.
Getting closer now. The half went in 46-1. Sharp Quality on the inside and Shauna Alexandra on the outside. The two of them heads apart for the lead. They've got 3.5 lengths on Hey Kiddo and Rockin' Cozy. And now it is Shauna Alexandra to take over the lead, and Shauna Alexandra is the winner by a length. Sharp Quality second. Rockin' Cozy was third, and Hey Kiddo checked in fourth. The stretch, and Co-Ride has opened up. Co-Ride in front by 6. Papoose Miabella in second. Farther back, You Take the Cake, Cat Has No Manners, and a Crystal Rocket. It's all Co-Ride as they come through the stretch, and Co-Ride has built an insurmountable lead here, in front by 10 lengths. The battle will be for second. No doubt about the winner. It is Co-Ride, and it's going to be a photo for second between Papoose Me. Oh, and going down there right after the line. 47 seconds, Gypsum Johnny. On the outside, it's Jacopo. Gypsum Johnny by ahead. Jacopo on the outside. Kayla Luna down at the rail. Here's Scattered Dreams on the outside. And Deputy Buster Stone. They pass the 16th pole. It's Gypsum Johnny with the lead. Scattered Dreams is second. That's the way it is. 1-2 under the line. Gypsum Johnny the winner. Scattered Dreams comes into the stretch. It's El Grillo with the lead. GR's Giant on the outside. El Grillo by a long neck. GR's Giant. Mark My Style is putting in a late run now as they pass the 8th pole. It is El Grillo. Here comes Mark My Style. Mark My Style and El Grillo. Those two down to the wire. Mark My Style wins it at a price. El Grillo was second. Island Candy holding the lead over Little Gidding. Island Candy clear now by 2.5 lengths. Little Gidding under the whip in second. On the outside is Wisdom of Oz now moving up. But it is Island Candy with the lead. Island Candy by 3. Little Gidding, Wisdom of Oz. It's Island Candy as the favorite. Checks home first. Little Gidding was second. Wisdom of Oz finished third. And racing in third, and coming on as the field comes into the stretch. Samus has the lead, length and a half. Munning's Got Music charging up now on the outside. Munning's Got Music right alongside of Samus, and the two of them are heads apart for the lead with a 16th to the wire, and now Munning's Got Music takes over. Samus back running in second. My Eastern Beauty third. Munning's Got Music, a 4-length winner. Manuel Franco, his third victory today.
He's been 20 years old for about a month, and Manny Franco had a good day. The natural hat trick on today's card. Rick Blewitt Jr. off a trader change in the last race with the filly, who I guess shed being a beach bum down on Hallandale Beach at Gulfstream Park, came up to Jamaica Bay and made quick work of the competition in the nightcap.
How many times have we seen that over the years? Horses shipping out of the warmer climates, get up here where it's cooler, and it just seems like they run wild. Now, obviously, the competition might be a little tougher down there, but I think something about coming out of the heat and the humidity, getting up here, that cool breeze, like you said, off of Jamaica Bay, kind of elevates their game.
And we'll talk about a Rick Blewitt, New York bred with the future, who's running here tomorrow in a very competitive New York bred 3-year-old allowance race. But speaking of state breds, and a race that had a bit of chaos to it, here is race number 6, El Grillo, the gray with the blue cap, who's 4 wide or so. Keep your eye on that horse, and maroon cap on the outside, the 8, Mark My Way.
Yeah, actually, Mark My Style.
Mark My Style, yep.
And the horse in between is going to get squeezed more by the gray horse coming out. Now, the eventual winner, the 8, Mark My Style, was trying to lug in a little bit. Angel Cruz delivered an extremely well-timed ride. I like this little rider. I think he's a kid that's got a big, big future. I actually spoke to him after the race, though, and questioned why he didn't put the stick in his left hand. You know, he was having to constantly correct his horse, and he agreed with me. Now, he didn't do the damage, though. It was the gray horse on the inside under Angel Arroyo coming out, and you can clearly see there was that one line down the track, and he actually was the one who deviated over that line.
Now, Mark My Style pulled off the upset, paid just under $31 for Gary Contessa, son of Newmark, who got the mile and 70 yards, go figure, in a race that had our biggest price winner on the afternoon, 3 winning favorites overall. As we can get it to one of our favorites, the Frost Giant New York bred standout on this Thursday afternoon at the Big A. We don't have to go back far. In fact, between the lines, 4 to 5. The big favorite in race 8. Nice ride here from Angel Arroyo, and a pretty good son of Read the Footnotes.
Yeah, Angel Arroyo delivering a well-timed ride, and this is a pretty nice horse. Been very consistent. He's picked up a check in every one of his starts, much like the Frost Giants are. Extremely consistent. Not only do they pick up checks going long, they do it going short. They do it on the turf. They do it on the dirt. Frost Giant may be one of the best bargains in New York State.
Standing for $10,000, began his stud career back in 2009, a son of Giants Causeway. To inquire, contact Eric Bishop, Eric at sunrisestallions.com, and again, $10K Frost Giant stud fee, and he is currently residing at Keene Stud upstate. As we look at the rider standings, Manny Franco, the young native of Puerto Rico, well, he was the star today with the hat trick.
Now, and we see this quite a bit. Manny Franco's been having a tremendous winter. Jose Ortiz, Irad Ortiz, Angel Cruz. It's a young colony. Nice to see Angel Arroyo right in behind, lurking in behind those guys. But I like the colony here.
Leading trader David Jacobson, as we switch gears here at the Big A, he walked away with the victory. It didn't work out with Classic Salsa back in race number 2 with the quick turnaround of race number 3, but it did work out in race number 6 with Island Candy.
Yeah, and David Jacobson spots his horses to win, and no surprises. You look at the list, all of the trainers there having a good run.
And that was race 7, excuse me, with Island Candy at 6 to 5. It was a dominating winner, and there you go. David Jacobson owns a lot of them and comes at you with the numbers.
And he also trains for Drawing Away Stable as well, so he's kind of got a little bit of a monopoly there. Michael Dubb, Chester and Mary Broman in the Rapoli Stable. And nice to see Darley having wintertime participation.
Hey, they support the product up here year-round. Artie Magnuson does a great job running Kiaran McLaughlin shed row over at Belmont Park. Tom Albatrani leaves a bunch of horses. In fact, Darley and Godolphin have an entry in tomorrow's rescheduled Busando that we'll talk about during the 3rd segment. But we do need to check out the claims. Rockin' Cozy, a big claim tag, $50K. The near-white New York bred claimed out of the 1st. And Corite, who paid $2.30, claimed by Bruce Levine in the 2nd.
Yeah, won by about 13 lengths. And looks like he actually, I know he didn't beat much in there, but actually he could go on and maybe do some other stuff. Nice to see Blue Stork Stable, my friend Rick Franco, reaching in for a pretty hefty price tag.
And he's been a long-time owner here at the Big A, Blue Stork Stable. Flamingo Way, one of my favorites going back in the old Blue Stork colors with Julio Pazua and Roy Sedlak as the trainer a few years ago. But we'll preview the Friday card. It's a very good program here that gets underway at 12:25, so stay tuned. Back to the Big A, the brainchild back in the late 50s of the famed racetrack architect Arthur Furlick on an opening day back in the late 50s where Bill Shoemaker swept the early double and Sword Dancer defeated the Horse of the Year Roundtable.
Pretty good stuff there. And how about Shoemaker coming in from California basically, I guess, to commemorate the opening of the new Aqueduct. And did he ride Sword Dancer?
42,000 plus in attendance that day. I don't know who was aboard Sword Dancer, but Round Table was defeated, and he was the reigning horse of the year. And $3.4 million was the on-track handle. Big balloons here at the Big A, but a Friday card that holds a lot of promise. We get things underway at 12:25, and we get to Rick Violet Jr. off the bat at race number 5 with an intriguing 3-year-old state bred by Bernstein. All his number, who goes to the post in race 5. He'll try to stretch out.
Yeah, and you know, it's always a big order. You're going from maidens to winners. You're going from 1 turn to 2 turns. This horse has the look of a horse that wants 2 turns. He's long, he's lanky, he's kind of got a stride that makes you think he'll go long. And Jason, he seems to have the demeanor. He's not a rank kind of horse. I think he's going to stretch out successfully.
As Rick Violet also prepares Upstart, who was third in the BC Juvenile. That horse gearing up for a 3-year-old campaign down in Florida. Strength in numbers for sure. And numbers is a situation we'll encounter with a few of these horses dropping out of the Damon Runyon. Bullheaded Boy getting into the picture in the pink. Tiz Quick, I thought, ran the best. He's actually outside the yellow cap.
Yeah, he was wide, and he rallied wide while Bullheaded Boy got to save ground and then come out later. But boy, he kind of really did hang, didn't he? Was it a function of being wide, or was it that maybe he doesn't want to go quite this far? I'm got a question about that.
I think it's the mile and 70. He is one of the more talented horses in the race. The mile and 70 might be pushing it as we get to Persuasive Devil, who in the midnight finale, it was getting dark outside on December 5th. This horse beat a pretty good maiden field.
Yeah, he did, and it took him 7 starts to break his maiden, but he's been consistent 6 times, 1, 2, 3. He's earned 81,000, and he's got the look of a horse that you would think could improve. At least, you know, he's got a lot of foundation, which is something the horse I like, all as a number, doesn't have.
Promise the key phrase as we turn the page and we move a bit later into Friday's card, making the 42nd running of the $100,000 Busanda Stakes for 3-year-old fillies. Won a couple years ago by Princess of Silmar. Todd Pletcher has 2 runners. He's won this race 3 out of the last 4 years, and Overprepared, Orange Cap, got stopped down on the round.
She just had a very, very tough trip. Didn't break exceptionally well. Was basically shuffled back, shut off, came again. I think she may have been best in the Smart Halo. Now she's stretching out to 2 turns. She gets the inside post. She should be involved early and be able to hold her position as long as they get their position going forward.
Here's the other Pletcher filly, Hopefaithjoy, who won this race, was originally carded last weekend. She was the morning line favorite. Might not be the case with Overprepared in the race tomorrow, but this filly has one going long.
She has one going long, and I think Todd's horses complement each other, even though they're not a coupled entry, because the other filly should show speed. Overprepared from the inside, and Hopefaithjoy should be coming on late.
Sheikh Mohammed supporting the winter product. He's got an entry. Here is a look at Been Here Before, who looked pretty good breaking her maiden.
Looked really good first start over the inner track, first start on dirt around 2 turns. And you alluded to earlier, Artie Magnuson does a great job for Kiaran McLaughlin as he takes the reins during the winter.
Bonnet Plume's got the outside post. She'll wear the Godolphin Royal Blue as well, and she had no problem with the slop in the Darley Silks in this much the best maiden win back on December 6th.
You know, my question to you, Jason, is her race in the slop was so much better than her other 2 races. Was it the slop or was it the 2 turns? There are questions there, don't you think? And she does get a tough outside post.
She does have a tough post. She's got Dylan Davis. She is a Bernardini Coronado's Quest filly, so perhaps it's a case of the 2 turns, and the more she races, the more she's going to improve, and I think she's got that going for her. Regardless, you get the entry as 2 for the price of 1, and then we have Liberty Island and Stolen Victory. Can't forget about the New York Breds, and they'll be big prices, but they're worth a look.
You know what? I like Liberty Island. I think she's a filly to break her maiden first time out, 1.70 miles. She was hung up 3-4 wide throughout, and I think she went on about her business. I think this filly's going to improve with the race, and I think Dominic Schettino actually holds a sneaky strong hand in the Busanda.
She's the New York bred, one of 2 state breds going out for the kid from the Bronx, Dominic Schettino, who, of course, worked for the late John Campbell before going out on his own many years ago. We'll see what the story is with Liberty Island tomorrow, and we know Andy and Maggie have got some good stuff brewing for the Friday card as we send it on down.
Thanks a lot, guys. Well, the 7th race on Friday is where I'm going to go. Not sure I have a lot of pricey ideas in the card. I'm not sure what kind of price this horse will be, but I'm interested in the 2 Treasury Devil, who on paper I don't think should be favored. The favorite should be the 1 Village Warrior. And with the presence of cosmic coincidence in the race, Village Warrior is not going to have an easy time in the front end, and he might be also a horse that's better on a wet track. Now, Treasury Devil, I have no confidence that he's really a dirt horse on a dry track, but I will tell you, his last race, his first career dirt start, albeit in a wet track, was a very good one. It was a fast race, and he was hampered by being down on a very deep inside. So I like the race he ran. I'm against the favorite. I'm landing on Treasury Devil, the 2-horse in the 7th race on Friday as we head out to Maggie.
Hey guys, long time no see for the Paddock Insider, but taking a look at the Friday card, going to focus in on race number 5 in here. It's a New York-bred optional allowance claimer going the mile and 70 yards for the straight 3-year-olds, and I like a second-time starter who, granted, will be a short price. I know I wish I was a little more creative, but number 2 in here, all his numbers, a horse whom I felt sprinting was not going to be his game, yet he proved me wrong in a very fast and professional manner in breaking his maiden first time out. So I think he will actually relish the longer going that he'll get tomorrow. And all his number, I think he's a horse with the most upswing in the field. So that is your Paddock Insider for today. Jay, Mig, back to you.
Good stuff, Maggie and Andy. I know your picks will run well here tomorrow. And among the picks, all his number, who turned some heads first time out, rightfully so, with a near 4-length maiden score for Rick Vowett Jr., who also has upstart. Son of Flatter turned some heads last season at 2 and was a very good third in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile.
A very good third with an impossible trip, basically, from the outside. He was strung along 5-6 wide in the first turn, kind of middle moved into the hardest part of the race, I thought, and just missed finishing second by a nose. I think there's so much upside for Upstart, and I think if you even go back to his Champagne when he was in the unenviable position of having to chase Daredevil, I think Upstart's much better than average, and I think he's got a big shot to go forward.
9 up, 9 down, the fastest 30 minutes in all thoroughbred racing. We have hit the finish line. We do it all again tomorrow. We say, let's go Rangers against Boston tonight, and the Big and I will catch all of you right here tomorrow on MSG+.